Hello, my name is Moala Banafti, and today I will be presenting to you all the pros and cons and accessibility features of using Microsoft Teams as an editing tool between multiple collaborators in an academic setting. Nature is pleased with simplicity, and nature is no dummy, Isaac Newton. The takeaway message for this entire video is that Microsoft Teams is a very simple application to use, and it makes your editing process on papers so much easier between co-authors. That's what I'm trying to demonstrate to you today. So in order to create a Teams site, you have to go to the upper left-hand corner where it says join or create Teams. I have already made the team site for the project that I've been working on all semester, which is my teaching as research project with my friend and colleague Megan Lindmark. So there will always be post, right, that you can see right here, and file tabs regardless of the team site. So there are different types of team sites you can make. You can make one like a class, which is what I did in case we wanted to take notes and stuff. Assignments, grades kind of comes with it, even though I wasn't using it. Or you could just make a general team site. There's a lot of different categories. So this one is the class category, and that's the format that you see here. You can meet with your whole team or some of the team members with the Meet button. So this is the Meet button up here. And if you click on that, it will say start a meeting, you start it, and then it'll ask if you want to invite any of your other team members. And so all you have to do is press that button for whichever team member you want. It says request to join, and it'll send them a link to join the meeting with you. So a lot easier than like scheduling a Zoom meeting ahead of time and trying to share those links and stuff like that when you're thinking about Zoom, and it's all on the same platform. So when you're meeting, you don't have to like exit out of the meeting to go to something completely different or even share a screen, because both of you can see the exact same file at the exact same time. You can live edit while in a team meeting and record it for team members who may miss a meeting. So I just explained that. But I wanted to point to you guys this con of the program is that this is the first time that I tried to demonstrate the streaming, and it failed. Unfortunately, it says recording failed to upload. So that's a little frustrating. I'm going to try it again and see if it works again later, but Megan and I didn't have time to meet again before this project was being submitted. So just know that that is something that can happen. Place everything in one folder so that you can export that folder and share all your team files at once. So the exporting process is really easy if you just make sure everything is in one folder. I had a previous Teams site that I had where we didn't do this, and then exporting everything at the end of our project to like our personal computers was a little bit of an annoying process. So this is just a pro tip, I would say. And then you can differentiate between types of files when collaborating on a paper. So this is the best part to me. You can have, this is our intro or lit review section, the methods section, proposal section, resources section. This is specific to my project. This is a made up example. This is my actual team site. And so then I will be showing you guys what's in my intro lit review. It says the date that you made the folder and the person who made the folder. So everything is in file types that you are familiar with, Microsoft Office files. So a huge pro of using this program is that if you are already familiar with Microsoft Office, and a lot of college students specifically are, because a lot of submission formats are in .doc or .ppt formats, then this is 100% for you. So as you can see here, these are two Word documents that we have going. The first one is our brain dump. The next one is our version 1, and it will tell you when you edited it and who was the last person that edited it. So as you can see, Megan was the last person to edit the version 1, and I was the last person to edit our brain dump. So another con is it says you can sync these documents to your SharePoint or OneDrive, but I have been unsuccessful at doing that. Like when I press this sync, it doesn't do anything. The upload and everything else works. Copy, link, download, open in SharePoint, all of those things work. It's just the sync. In my previous project and in this project, I could be doing something wrong, but those haven't been working. And I think that I'm a fairly computer literate person, so I feel like if you can't get it right the first time when I'm doing it, not to say I'm the best at everything, but I think that shows that it might be a little bit less accessible of a feature than everything else, which was pretty easy to figure out. So when you open the document, it should look like a normal Word document. Familiarity is like a huge plus in this. And so now you may be looking at this like, some of the citations look kind of weird. It's not, well, this is an actual grammatical error, but it's not giving me everything that I would want. All you have to do is hit this open in desktop button. And now you have it open in Word, like the actual, it'll open the Word application automatically. You don't have to do anything but hit that open in desktop button, and all the capabilities that come with Microsoft Offices are available to you. So one of the, most of you are familiar with Microsoft Office, but in case you're not, there is a read out loud and a check accessibility feature. So Teams as a whole is very accessible, but because Microsoft Office is used so widely, all of the accessibility features of Microsoft Office come with Microsoft Teams, such as these two. So it'll actually give your document an accessibility check. Some of that has to do with acronyms that are used. Are they defined? Special characters that are used that might not translate well across different languages, etc., etc. So our document is accessible. Yay! And you can hit this button which says Keep Accessibility Checker running through the work. So it's very easy for you to do that as well. As far as editing, since the video didn't work, you can track changes here, which will show you who is working on what. If Megan was in the document, there would be a little circle right there that has her picture in it to tell me that she's in the document with me too. Our cursors would be different colors, which is an easy way for us to keep track, and they do use contrasting color like red and blue, and not colors that are easily to be confused, like red and green, for example, by people that have vision problems. So yeah, those are just a little nuggets of why I really like Microsoft Teams. In summary, pros and cons. Pros is that it's a very simple layout, as you can see, not distracting, not pop-ups, none of that. Low learning curve. I never used Microsoft Teams before this semester, and it was very simple for me to figure out. Familiarity with Microsoft Office apps. Most college students are familiar with these applications, especially further on in their degree program. So using Microsoft Teams is also easy. It's not like you have to learn a whole bunch of new things. Extremely accessible. I showed you several of the accessibility benefits to using Microsoft Teams before, and cost efficient. As long as you make a OneDrive account, Microsoft Teams is 100% free. A lot of colleges pay for your Microsoft Teams. Yes, so that's for the pros. Now for the cons, the sync feature doesn't work, at least for me. I'm sure that there are tutorials that you can find online. I didn't do that because it wasn't pressing for me to, because like I said, if you put everything in that one file, you can just download it at the end. So there wasn't like a huge need to keep things synced between my personal files and the Teams drive until the end, when I just downloaded everything from Teams. But if you're really pressed for that, that could be a deterrent from you using the program. Streaming problems with the recordings. So I downloaded the recording, everything seemed fine. When I went to click on it, it said that it wouldn't stream for some odd reason. Familiarity with Microsoft Office apps. So the reason why I put that in pros and cons is if you are familiar with Microsoft Office applications, Teams is super easy. But if you're not familiar with Microsoft Office applications, then it could pose a learning curve, though I would say not more of a learning curve than using the Office applications in general. And citation editors do not work well with this. We did find a way in my other project to get EndNote to work with this, but generally I would say keep one person in charge of citations, and you should be okay. But everybody can edit the document, but not everybody can add and edit citations, unfortunately, at least with EndNote. Maybe with maybe with Mendeley or a different citation editor, it would be better. So all in all, would I recommend Microsoft Teams to any students or professors? I would, 100%. Like I said, I think it's accessible. I think it's easy to use. I think it's not distracting. And I think it has a really low learning curve, and it's very cost efficient, especially if your school already pays for you to have Microsoft Office applications. It'll also pay for you to have Teams. So thank you all for coming to my tutorial pros and cons accessibility tips video for Microsoft Teams and SharePoint.